Hello, I am back with another video. I am grinning so hard. Y'all, I just recorded 8 minutes of my digital portfolio and I can't use any of it, so I had to delete it because I didn't have my mic on. I forgot that I was using my mic. Oh, okay. So this video is a little bit different of a video. It is my digital persona um, that I am, or my digital profile, sorry, that I am turning in for my AT&T Digital Navigation Tier 1 course. It's a lot of words in that title. All right. So now that I'm not as nervous, I can probably get through everything that I just recorded and lost in those 8 minutes. Okay, so the purpose of this video is my digital portfolio, as I just stated. And I had different choices of a platform to choose to come up with my digital portfolio. And I chose this platform. This is also my digital portfolio, which I will be talking out of. I like the way the class set this up. They gave us a notebook, which most of us, because we're teachers anyway, we were going to have something that we were taking notes in anyway, whether that would be on the computer or writing something down in a notebook that we brought. But the way they did this course, I really like it because you came in not immediately on your computer or your phone to take notes because there's distractions there, right? With all the apps and stuff that we have and the text messaging and most of us having family at home. So, kids texting or spouses calling, that sort of thing. So it was easier to be like, hey, I'm in class and turn your phone off or at least have it on silent or vibrate to where you can just check when you went to the restroom or something. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about is what I wrote in this, and I decorated mine. I think everybody kind of decorated theirs, and of course I had to put my own plug in there. That's my book. But anywho, the one thing that we had to answer for this digital portfolio was about our confidence in technology and our comfort level. So the question or the statement is to talk about the level of comfort and confident you have, level of comfort and confidence that has changed, and how has that affected your experience with technology. So for me, my confidence in asking questions that will lead me to further research and just having more fun, more confidence in having more fun, more comfort in having more fun in the digital world, to where right now the digital world is being beat up by AI or, well, people say by AI. I have a thing with that. Or it is being beat up with social media, right? Which I have my qualms about that too, because you can make your page private, you can only associate with certain people, and there's a unfriend or delete button right there that you can just, have all that drama, etc., out of your life. And some people will say it's not that easy, but look, friend or foe, it is that easy, I firmly believe. But because those things are out there in the world, no matter what platform it seems that you go on, after taking this course, I just feel more confident in some of the things that I've already been doing as far as like privacy, but also in the other things that I've been doing as far as like researching and giving my students like more age appropriate and friendly things to be on, as well as my own children. And just having a way more confidence in the technology pieces that I buy. And I know the course just ended on December 6th. Like we had 2 courses, right? Or 2 sessions within the course. And the second session just ended December 6th. So it's like, what technology could you have bought that fast? Well, it was Christmas. And being able to actually sit down, because we learned a lot about storage space, to where I've done coding. I've done coding with Kira so that I can take my computer science coding certificate test. And even in that class, because of how really fast paced I think it was, you didn't really get a chance to process everything in there. There, like, you know about computer storage space, you know about the ROM, the RAM, the CPU, but like you lose it really fast, right? Because they go through it so fast. And even though you use a phone every day or a computer every day or your TV, it doesn't all just stick, right? With this class, the way it was explained, it stuck. It stuck, especially long enough for me to be able to buy a tablet for my 10-year-old, who the teachers in this course actually know because he's come to some other tech Saturdays with me. But he games. He games on his Nintendo Switch, and he games on his tablets. Well, now he has two. But the one that we just got him for Christmas, we were able to actually sit down and look at the storage space, look at, what he already has on his current tablet, knowing that those things were going to be copied over to his new tablet, because, he wants to do dual screens and all that stuff. He even has a PlayStation 5 remote controller, like, hooked up to his tablet. Like, it's a whole thing. And I'm here for it, right? But now I have more confidence in knowing, like, okay, when we will have to update him, when we will need to take some things off of his tablet, like he has to, keep up with it, knowing that you literally have to restart your tablet as opposed to powering it off. And they do two different things to make sure that it is operating correctly and appropriately, and going through and deleting things that is necessary to delete. He takes a lot of pictures with me. So knowing that he does that, and we have an endless amount of storage with Amazon photos, he doesn't need to have that in his phone, right? So just, being able to have that much confidence and looking and those sort of things. And even me knowing knowing how many times that I for real have copied a photo to upload it to Instagram or to Twitter, now X, or Facebook, and all that, and knowing that some of those platforms actually copy your picture and it has it copied twice, therefore in your phone, or how when you upload your pictures to like your drive, when you're sending it to someone, like you can have like these photos in your drive and you can send the whole drive or share the whole drive with someone, right? That's another copy of your photo. And now you have that, or videos, and now you have both of those copies in your phone, which is then in turn taking up even more space. Like, I don't know, it was just a way that was explained to me, since, I'm YouTubing and TikToking, that to me gave me more confidence in being like, oh, all of that is in my Amazon photos. I need to just delete this stuff as soon as I've uploaded to whatever platform I've uploaded to. Just go ahead and delete it. And it opens up so much storage space. I did that after this class. And y'all, my storage space for my phone was at 98% used, right? I went through on those different things and deleted photos and got that. And I didn't even, sit there for a long time to delete a bunch. I just was like, give myself 10 minutes, delete these things. Let's see how it turns out. Just in that 10 minutes, I was able to get my storage space only to 90% used instead of 98. And I literally still did not delete as much as I actually have on my phone. Like, I have almost 7,800 videos and pictures on this phone. And I had deleted over 2,000. Yeah, but I did that and it opened up storage space. So I'm like, of course. The only issue that I'm still coming across is the amount of apps that I have, and I use every single app. So I'm just like, now I'm just looking at, like, what this class has taught me is like the different platforms you really need to have those apps on, right? Do I need note-taking apps on my phone? No. Is it more convenient? Yes, because then I have one device with me. But are there less distractions with that second device? Yes. So my tablet would be more convenient for me to take notes on because there's less distractions. The Facebook isn't there. The Instagram isn't there. That is on my phone. So like just thinking about things like that and like where is the good places to have things and what's not. And I don't know, just a lot more confidence in being able to do that sort of things with. It's just, I don't know, it was really fun. Um, Something else this class has taught me is really like how, like I say I'm a people's person and I like making friends and my husband will agree with you. So will the friends that I have. But this class really did teach me how reserved or scared I actually am with going out and meeting new people. But I met some amazing friends in the from the Philippines. I think they said they were from. So that was pretty cool. It gets you out of your comfort zone because I have to work with other people, and even in the digital world, we're taught in this class that you have to work with a lot of other people because you're not going to know everything. They may have already tried something. You are probably stuck, so let's go over and get some help. You know what I mean? Just like everything else you do in life. And why would you think that the digital world would be any different? No idea. Maybe it's because a lot of digital jobs are remote and you do it at home. If you're not an educator and you're going out there, or if you're just not like, you know, that much of a people's person and you're not going out there, like you probably think like, oh, YouTube is my only resource. Like I have learned on TikTok and um, Instagram and YouTube a lot of different, you know, digital platforms that I can go to keep learning coding and keep myself doing these things every day so that I don't lose the knowledge that I have. But it has also taught me, like, even within my own church of friends and my, well, actually not much of my family, but um, how like we can go and have fun with different things, like with the 3D printing. Like my church is in love with 3D printing. So am I. I can't get my 3D printer to work, but now I know I can go to people and get it to work. But they can also show me in person how to be a better educator for my students. All I have to do is just not be afraid and go and reach out to them. You know what I mean? And I actually found out being excited about taking this AT&T digital Naver course that I blabbed off to some girls at church about the course. They're not educators like in, you know, the field of education. But they actually taught me that Python wasn't the only, Python and pseudocode were not the only things out there, and that Java really is a type of coding. Didn't know that. Didn't know that. And they are girls in tech. They work in tech companies. Would not have known that about them had I not just like, you know, trying to be starting small talk. Um, so like this course has actually just taught me to like, there are other people out there that can help you and that you can also just be a friend to and help as well, you know? Um, what else did I learn in this class that has helped me? I do think that this course is going to also help me a little bit more with my confidence in the STEM camp that I will now be hosting this June for the second time. I needed to make some money during the summer. I didn't want to go to like McDonald's or anything like that to get a side job. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I have an 18-year-old that has been trying to go there to get those jobs, and I did not want to be stepping on his toes. And you know, maybe they're like, oh, well, you're an adult, I'll hire you, but not that teen over there. And he needs one so that he can like literally graduate. The only thing that he's waiting on to graduate is literally to get a job. And he can't work for me. I know I said I had a small business, but his school has made it very clear he cannot work for me because I guess they don't want it to be like a forgery sort of thing to where parents are like, oh, I own a small business. Let me employ my child and not have them do anything. They really don't know me if they think that's all I'm going to do, but I do understand that. But okay, let's see what other things that I have. Oh, I learned about discourse. I don't know how to navigate discourse. I'm still learning. Good morning. As soon as I'm done making this. Okay. I don't know anything about discourse. Apparently, discourse is one of the other places to be in technology. Even also with YouTubers and Instagram people that I follow, they talk about discourse a lot. I have no idea how to navigate it. Taking this course introduced me to discourse, and I'm learning how to navigate it. We had a portion of this course that talked about respect, responsibility, and courage. I teach my students at the beginning of the school year and at the beginning of the second semester. So when we go back to school, I will be refreshing them on like the ISTE state standards and the digital citizenship. So that way, you know, they're just reminded of like how smart we need to be online. And you know, stuff like that. So that that portion of this class just kind of helped reiterate like, oh, you are doing something right and they need to know that. So that's there. I'm just trying to think of all the things. I don't know, I just had a lot of fun with this course. Some of the things I did know, but you know what's something that was super exciting that I didn't know with this course was the why you should not be hooking up every single device that comes like in a USB-C, like hooking them up like to the same USB-C cord. Like I already knew that some cords use more or less is it amps or voltage that each device needs. Like each device needs something different with its charge, right? And I already knew that. But I just figured if I hooked this tablet up to the cord for this tablet, this one just may charge slower. But what was never taught to me, or at least I didn't hear, is that it can damage your battery. Now, the tech people in my school, there was one time one of the tech people mentioned like you should never hook a computer to a tablet charger or vice versa because it can damage the battery that way. So like if you hook a tablet up to a computer charger, it could probably burn that battery faster, and if vice versa, it will just damage the computer because it's charging too slow. And they were like, you know, it's good every once in a while if you're just like really in a pinch, but honestly, you should never be doing it. Never really taught fully the whole why about it. And I'm just like, man, there's so many cords. So like, and a lot of these devices don't come with wall bases, right? So then you have to figure out if the block that has the different outlets on it will also like put forth the right amount of charge that each device needs as well. So then it's like I just didn't realize how intense all of that stuff is, which then when I take that knowledge back into my classroom, you know, when we go back into the school building, because like before we left for Christmas break, I really honestly was just thinking about unplugging things that needed to be put away and locked away, rather than plugging certain things up the way they needed to be. Other than like the Chrome cart, the Chrome device cart, like that was just like a given. All the computers were on that. But like I have donor shoes and personally out of my own pocket bought tablets and a 3D printer and which my 3D printer is like officially now broken. So I actually have to get another one for my classroom, which I mean, if you're watching this, my Cash App will be in my link in the bottom of this video. You can donate. But you know, just so many different things. But now I get to take that back into the classroom when we go over second semester because I also host a STEM club. And those are things I can teach my kids, like why you have to plug this up this way, why we are using this charger as opposed to this charger, like the charger that it came with. So that does help me with that as well. And we have an entire coding course with my STEM club when we go back, but it doesn't start until the end of February because we're going to use the rest of January and the first part of February to do the rest of our cardboard cardboard creations. We were supposed to start in December before we left so we can make gingerbread houses with cardboard, but we had a lot of issues where those were canceled. So we're going back and we're starting with cardboard creations. But that's not to say that they can't use technology with it. Like, I'm showing them ways where we can use our spheros and make, what do you call them? Like, oh, it's a puzzle, but I can't think of the name right now, where, you start at this end and you come out on this end and you got to find your way out. I cannot think of the name of it right now. But anywho, you know, we're doing all of the tech things just this semester. So I don't know. I just really gained a lot of confidence with all of this, teaching them how to use, because we will have like an hour of code where we're on the computer learning code, and there is a portion of it that will be for girls who code, and 30-minute projects for that. So like, they're going to be with their emails and stuff too, right? So then teaching them about cybersecurity, like what they need to do to not like download anything that's going to have pop-ups or malware on the computer, and just teaching them how to navigate all of that. And I just appreciated how like they started the class with us like offline essentially, and teaching us like how to be offline, how to teach kids these things offline where you have their full attention before we put them online to where they're listening, but they're not listening. And I like the way they did it because it was like, let's teach them by example. So then we have an example to follow as we're teaching our students, as we are allowing them to be creative, but also giving them the knowledge that they would need to navigate it and how to help them through that. And just knowing that we have them as a resource to go to do all those things. One part of this that really stood out to me in the Tech Saturdays, but also in this digital navigation course that we did, that I am for sure going to do with my students, and it's called like an offline digital profile. And this time they did a picture. So we took a picture while we were in this course. They printed the picture out and we were able to put it on the card, and we drew like what our superpower would be, how we would carry our special weapons, things that we like personally love that makes us us. Like, I don't know. I like that whole thing because it kind of allows the students to think about themselves and what makes them them, and how you want to portray that while you're online. Because even your digital profile or your digital persona, that's still you. That's just how you are portraying yourself online. And I just like the way we did this. So I think I'm definitely for sure going to do this with my students. And the last thing I think I'm going to talk about, because I don't want this video to be too long, and I'm also still hoping that I touched everything that they wanted me to talk about, because they also didn't want us to just like take pictures of our notes and just that. Like, I will have pictures of my notes at the end of this, but that wasn't like the goal of it, just so that you watching this video can see what I'm talking about. The other thing that I want to do is print off more of these for my students, because I have some kids that are genuinely all about coding. And there was a way that Deborah, who was I said Deborah, Barbara, sorry, Barbara. She talked about the binary code. I can listen to her teach binary code all day. It was something with the way that she talked about it and that she explained it that locked in here. So now I have more confidence when I go and take or retake my computer science course, because that test it's hard. So when I go back and take that test, I have more confidence that I will pass it, especially where these questions come into play. But I just thought this is really cool that kids have an understanding that even their simple on-off switches in the refrigerator, in the washer and dryers, on, like, I have a trash can that uses batteries and it has an on off switch as well. Like, those simple things have a binary code. And I'm just like, that is so awesome. And all of my years of, coding with the dash and dot, with the Sphero, with Mindstorm and the Lego education, like, no one has ever explained that. And for those of us who like to learn about things, especially coding, like, that would be something nice for us to also be able to choose whether or not we want to venture off into. For some people, they're just like, coding in this way, that's not me, right? And that's fine. But how do you give your students the option to know if this is how they want to code if you yourself don't know about it, right? And I learned about it in my class with Kira online. But like I said, that course goes so fast. And the teachers, like, they are great teachers, but it didn't stick with me with the way they taught it. The way Barbara taught it, this is it. So it has made me more confident in introducing them to this in an offline project of making bracelets, or like, I have this Kindle and I like to make my own little gems for the back of my Kindle. Of course, you can buy them, but they're expensive. So, like, I can make one for just the back of this and just be like, oh, this is my binary code for my initials or my favorite number, which is 25. I can make a binary thing with that. But, certain colors would be for your 0, certain colors would be for your 1, and then certain colors can be for a space. That's just something that we learned. And I was just like, oh, like, that's pretty awesome. And that is now a project that I want to do with my students, but now I can better explain it to give them the opportunity to be like, oh, when I get to, I don't know, high school, I can delve into this deeper. Or if my parent is able to, have this as my after school activity outside of the school building. You know what I mean? Like, there's different options where they can go and learn about that stuff. Also, I have Khan Academy as a teacher, and they have um, computer science things on Khan Academy. Yes, it is for high schoolers, but there's a lot of videos that can walk even my middle schoolers through, learning about that. And that could be something that they do even outside of school, because Khan Academy doesn't turn off at 4 o'clock like some of the other resources that we give for our students to do at home. Some of those resources they can't do outside the classroom, especially if they're elementary, or 6th grade is considered elementary in some school districts, because some of those apps stop working at 4 and 5 o'clock because you're not at school. But Khan Academy will allow students to learn outside of school. Plus, there's also a YouTube with Khan Academy where all of their stuff is on YouTube. But, like, there's different resources out there that I now feel more confident in giving my students when they need help. So that is my very long 28 minutes, almost 29-minute digital portfolio. And again, I will add the pictures at the end of this. And I hope that I explained things the way that I needed to in order to complete this project. So you can see it here on YouTube. But also it will be uploaded to the discourse page for the AT&T digital navigation. So if you're wondering why this is a video on my YouTube channel, that is why it's a video on my YouTube channel, in case you didn't pick up on that in the first one. So thank you and bye. Thanks for watching.